Welcome back to the question and answer session with Hey It's Nick, Zarrk, and HCVertigo. If you missed our session talking about all the things about early IAE, make sure you click the link that'll be above Nick's head. Go there. It should be live right now. You can go watch it. And then come back here. So we're going to be covering some questions that were asked live by the chat here at twitch.tv/TheAstroPub. Join us live on Saturdays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, where you can ask your own questions and join in the discussion yourself. And with that all being said, let's jump right into these questions. So the first question comes from Inferno Droid Revised, who asks, why do all Karens that play Star Citizen always buy the Carrack? I have a theory behind it, but I think once the Carrack is no longer the meta ship, then whatever the new meta ship is, that's the just best hands down meta ship, will end up being that attention. The reason why people who have that kind of personality are drawn to that ship is because it literally is the best ship. There is no downside to that ship, other than you can't fire guns with it, but that doesn't matter that much.
There's one downside with it, and something I find very frustrating with the Carrack, and that's it is too small. They should have kept it in the original 170 meters for one simple reason. I would have always gotten the freaking XL hangar where I don't have to worry.
I mean, like, would you, as a Carrack captain, would you rather have the hangar it lands in now, or rather just have the XL hangar all the time? I'd rather just have the XL hangar all the time, honestly.
Yeah, that's fine as well. As long as I don't get put in the damn L hangar where I don't fit in. I mean, every time.
Just get good. Carrack captains have to be able to land now. Like, it just requires more skill to fly Carrack than any other ship in the game. That means Carrack is better. Carrack captains are better than anyone else as a result, because we have to be better.
Carrack Karen here. I think you have a Carrack Karen here.
I mean, 2 days ago I was landing in one of the spaceports, and I usually love to go. I always land in first person, and then I go sometimes back into third person, looking how the land. Going back third person, looking how the doors close, and then I see my landing strut from on the left back side, and literally 10 centimeters away from it was a person. Like, if I just pivoted, I would have killed an NST inside the hangar.
Yeah.
It's just not fun. It's not fun to land with this thing.
The other reason why all Karens are attracted to Carracks is because it's your mom.
Yep.
Yeah. Carrack has your back on everything. You need something.
No. I mean, literally, HCVertigo's ship, HCVertigo's Carrack is named your mom.
Yep. Everybody, the mission's over. Get back to your mom. I mean, they say on the website, they say the maximum crew of your mom is 6 men, but I think I get at least 20 inside of her. The jokes, they never stop. Like, that's one of the reasons why I named my ship that. Your mom jokes will never stop.
To get out of your mom.
But interesting enough,
I hate your mom.
There's quite a lot of truth to your naming, because the ship has everything you want.
Hold on a second. Your
mom has everything you want.
Your mom has everything you want.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some things I want that I don't want. That society wouldn't let me have.
I do not want to respawn at your mama. Okay, I'm just saying.
You don't want to respawn in mama?
All right.
But you spawn in mama, so you can respawn in mama.
This is getting into some weird stuff that I don't want to. I can see the chat already. I can see the comments.
They're a little excited. Hey, just because I'm a motherfucker doesn't mean I'm fucking my mom. Could be your mom.
Hey, I mean, you called her your mom,
your
not my mom.
All right. Let's move on. Before I get completely demonetized. Deliner asks, thoughts on the Banu Merchantman potentially being shelved? Good, meh, or the end of the world? Shelved?
Yeah, so in the Star Citizen Live, they talked about that right now the merchantman only has pretty much a skeleton crew working on it.
Mm-hmm.
And the exterior is pretty much LED zero. So for those that don't know, previous you had concept phase, you had white box, gray box, final art. They split final art, which is great, which should have done pretty much a long time sooner. Now there's a lot zero phase, which means when the artists are complete with everything they have done, then it gets in final art. That's where tech art comes in, sound design, light design, whatever. Right now, the merchantman exterior is pretty much done. So lot zero complete. But the interior is pretty much the most complex ship they have ever done, because if they made the Idris, they can do one section of the corridor, and 90% of all corridors is done. You just have to copy paste it. Not possible with the merchantman. They have nothing they can draw inspiration from, because there is no other large alien ship. There's no other large Banu ship. Not to mention that all those technically playful whatever they put in there, like doors opening strange, something popping out from the ground, whatever else, takes a lot of time. So right now there's only the skeleton crew, and they are considering, okay, do they go full on in? It is still a capital ship. They have officially pretty much elevated the merchantman to a capital ship, and if they go all in with this ship, they have probably another year, maybe 2, where a huge bunch of the team is occupied. Or are they saying they just keep the skeleton crew, they go step by step doing a bunch of things and focus on smaller ships that provide more value to the game?
Mm-hmm.
That's where they're a bit on a crossroad.
Okay, that's good to know. I didn't get to that part of SCL, so it's a nice little touch. And a lot of people haven't, because, and I know someone in chat, Gin and Tonic's like, well, this is all an SCL. It's like, yeah, but SCL is an hour and 15 minutes, and I know this is probably going to be longer, but the point is that that's a small section of it's a long one. Not expecting everyone to do it, especially for those people who are watching live who may not know the context. All right, so your thoughts. Let's start with you, Nick. Thoughts on the Bandit Merchantman possibly being shelved and being put away for another time. Good, bad, or A?
Was it actually shelved? Is that like a confirmed thing, or
no?
Is
they're
that
talking about it.
They are considering what they are doing. As I said, right now they have a skeleton crew, and they are considering: do they keep the skeleton crew? Do they expand and fully commit to the merchantman, or do they shelve what they have?
They should expand and fully commit to it. Get that thing out there. There's so many people who've been waiting that for years, and there's such a massive backlog of ships. Commit to it. Get it out there. I don't want it shelved. Even if it's got to be like a skeleton crew on it, just fully commit to it. Get that ship out there. Get it on the way. Get it so that you can have the devs work on other smaller ships then afterwards.
Just get it done.
I don't think that should be shelved at all. I don't think it should be running on a skeleton crew. Why is CIG having it running on a skeleton crew?
I
can tell you why.
I understand.
There's no mechanics with it. There's no trading in the game with what they want to do. So that's why they're putting a skeleton crew.
Yeah, but considering that the merchantman still takes probably 2 years.
Yeah,
and it's still like.
Then we have trading. In 2 years we have trading.
It's just one of those things where it's just like, you already started working on it. Why are you just going to stop halfway now? Just finish it. You've already done so many inside Star Citizens on it. You've done so many dev updates on it. You've shown us the progress you're making on it. Why are you just going to randomly just stop out of them?
This is welcome to working for a corporation.
It makes no sense whatsoever. Just have them finish it and have it release out, and have a sale when it comes right back out and release it and make more money. Come on. This is...
I remember having to work late in the middle of the night as a mechanic to get a piece of equipment finished and ready to go to work the next day. And I worked overtime, got it out the door, and the customer never came and picked it up. They left it in our yard for an entire week. And for some reason, that thing had to be finished. It's the same dumb bullshit. Somebody somewhere decided that they're just going to put a skeleton crew on it because they needed the resources elsewhere.
So
a decision was made.
And I feel it's the wrong one. That's
it's
not my decision.
Zarrk?
I would love to see the Merchantman coming out because it's probably the most stunning ship in Verse right now. It's just so different that even if you hate the look, you're still awed by it. Especially the interior. But on the other hand, I say, okay, they keep the skeleton crew. It's fine if it's only 6 people and it takes another 3 years instead of 2. Because we have to remember there are ships that are more pressing. So, for example, we have to flesh out sometime soon construction and crafting. It has to be done at some point. Science has to be created, the gameplay loop, and the ships for it. Farming is another part. So we might.
Are we just going to go through and list all the gameplay loops that haven't been created yet? We're going to be here for a while, Paul.
Yeah, that's going to be a long one.
But that's the point. If they can start, I mean, even if we stick to trading, which is a Banu Merchantman thing, they can probably create a single-seater noodle truck within a couple of months.
Faster than the Banu Merchantman. Yeah.
So, and that's the thing. They have to shift priorities. And as Jared always says, and I kind of agree with him, the last ship made is the best ship made.
Mm-hmm. We talked about it when the Infrunners were on here with me. I mean, I'm an Infrunner too, but we always say that the later you want your ship to come out last because it'll be.
That's
the
why
best.
the Endeavor is going to be the last ship because it's going to be the best ship.
Yeah, but it's missing, so it already failed. Yeah.
And people said, "Oh, so the Endeavor is going to be the Karen ship." No, the Endeavor is a cult. All right, we are a straight up cult. We are an apocalyptic cult, like a death cult. All right, that's what we are. We are waiting for the end times of Star Citizen when the Endeavor is finally released.
It doesn't matter how popular another ship gets. There'll always be Karens.
Yes. But yeah, so Vertigo, your thoughts? Because we should got to keep this going because we got a lot of questions.
I'm sorry, what the fuck were we talking about? We started talking about gameplay loops that were missing and the Banu Merchantman.
We're talking about the Banu Merchantman. The question is the Banu Merchantman. Are you okay with it being shelved for moving those resources over to smaller ships?
I mean, I'd rather CIG just get it the fuck done. I'm getting absolutely tired of all these old ships just sitting on the backlog. I mean, just get the fucking thing done.
Like, for instance, what if CIG just didn't release a concept ship for the next 2 years and just worked on their backlog and redid sales for ships that were exclusive?
Okay. You have
I wouldn't complain about that whatsoever.
Okay, so we have to acknowledge they drastically reduced any type of concept sale. In the last 2 years, we have less concept sales than probably in the year prior.
Well, yeah, 2018, 2019, I think we had a concept ship every month.
Yeah, and the last 2 years, probably a handful. We can probably.
Well, they also introduced the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo and Invictus to run concurrently, and that's basically doubled their income.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, they are already working on the backlog. They bring ships straight to flyable. It's fine, and I mean, if they shelve the Merchantman, let's be honest. If they bring it out, what are you gonna do with it?
What are you going to do with anything? What are you going to do with the Corsair?
Yeah.
What are you going to do with the Cutter? What are you going to do with the Galaxy?
Okay, hold up. I know what people are going to do with the Corsair. They're going to kill things with the Corsair because killing things is in the game.
You could do that with the Connie. You could do that with the
but the Corsair is cool. Shut up, Virgo. This is a video game.
That's cool.
This is a video game. Let people choose which pixels they use to kill each other with. Okay, it's a game of the game.
Okay, I'm bringing out my 200-meter Banu Merchantman with its dual size 8 cannons, maybe dual size 9, whatever it gets, to hunt for a measly Aurora bounty.
Yes.
That's
fucking amazing.
You do that with an 890 jump. So what? The 890 jump got pilot-controlled missiles. You could do the exact same thing. Like what you're talking about, the problem you're talking about is not limited to the Banu Merchantman. The problem is we don't have enough sandbox for the ships we're getting. We need to get more use out of the ships we currently have. We need to get less macro transactions in Star Citizen.
But
we have the gameplay in.
All right, let's run this thing. So I'll give my opinion because I agree with
Paul,
you.
Moderate this, please.
I agree with you, but at the same time, those people who are making ships aren't going to suddenly make gameplay work. They're a different team, and they have artists involved that need to get paid, and they're not going to let them go. Not just be like, hey, the artist is going to do anything. They're going to try to get them to do things. And if artists have cool ideas and ship designers have cool ideas, let them do it, is my opinion. Just because, why not? I'd like to see more ships come out, but I also know that there's no point in having an Idris come out because it would be the entire goddamn server. Like, there's no point in having an Idris, even with everything, if the player sizes aren't big enough.
Like they said with the DLC, it comes out and it wrecks the economy.
So I don't care.
It's an alpha.
There's no economy.
You can wreck the economy in alpha. Oh my god!
No, it's an early access game. It's an alpha. You
all right.
Economy.
Hold up. The point being, I don't think it really matters in the long run. Whether it gets the resources or whether it doesn't get the resources, whether it gets done or doesn't get done, it doesn't matter. And I think that's my point, is that I don't care. if that puts it out. I'm just a meh. I own a Banu Merchantman. I own an original Banu Merchantman. I got it during the concept sale. I don't care if it gets shelved because in my mind, it's the same thing as the Endeavor. It's like it gets shelved, cool, it'll be better when it comes out. And if it comes out, cool, it comes out. Like, I don't care. That's what and I think that's my biggest thing about ships is that generally speaking, I don't care about ships. Not because I don't think ships are cool or anything else like that. It's just, as y'all are saying, we're at the point where we need gameplay. But we're also not at the point where it's like, we need gameplay. Where's the gameplay, CIG? CIG is like, here's all the stuff we've been working on with gameplay. Resource management, different updates to like the movement. We're seeing the progress that's being worked on in the back and also being added to the game. Salvage is coming in 3.18. Cargo refactor, that step towards things. So there's things moving. So we're at this weird stage where you can go, oh, they should be making the game, not ships. They are. They're doing both.
Yeah, but the people that make the ships don't make gameplay. Gameplay team doesn't make ships. So
yeah.
Why not just make the ships? Why not just make the ships? Because the gameplay people are not making the ships. So just let the people making the ships make the ships. Like, don't tie it to gameplay. Let the gameplay work on the gameplay.
Does it matter if the Banu Merchantman comes out sooner or if they take that team and they break it up into like 15 different teams to work on 15 different ships that come out? No, it doesn't matter. It's all just that fucking matters.
I would say it doesn't matter, but at the same time, why not just commit to something? Why not just commit to one thing and just see it all the way through? I mean, if people are leaving and they have to get new artists and whatnot, because we've seen artists leave and whatnot. Yeah. It just happens in the game industry. Then so be it. Maybe you just gotta run a skeleton crew and you gotta get someone trained up. You can have them do the placement of assets and all that.
That's the problem with having ships that take multiple years to complete. Eventually you're gonna have a good chunk of your team just leave for greener pastures. And then it's just like, great, all your experience just, as you said, Paul, right? The run over by a bus syndrome.
Yep. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a popular term in business, which is like it's the bus problem, where if one person steps out on the road and gets hit by a bus, how bad is your project fucked? And if the answer is very, then you have way too many people, or you do not have enough people in the positions. You need to have more redundancy in your positions.
And you're also probably not documenting enough of what the process is to do it. And then if it's that much of a major issue,
I keep forgetting. Nick used to work in the industry, so he kind of has a little understanding of this. So yeah, go ahead.
So another thing to consider is a lot of the development process is documented, right? So like everything anybody does in a game studio is documented, right? So the development pipeline, we all just think of it as a development pipeline, but the artists themselves are looking at the design language. They have this written down of what things look like. They have probably sketches. They have probably renders of what this design is supposed to look like.
They have an entire library of
it would be large. It would, for the amount Star Citizen is for a large project, it would be very large, especially for each manufacturer, for each kind of ship. It would be very large. So if CIG is concerned about if it's difficult for CIG to hire a talented artist to bring them and onboard them to do what a previous experienced artist was doing, I would be very concerned about the documentation and onboarding process that they're actually doing. That's what I'm gonna say about that.
Okay.
As I said, I think the bigger so right now the merchant will not be shelved, not this moment, but in the long run, I see it being shelved if they say, okay, we have a new gameplay loop, maybe you repair, and we need a Crucible, maybe we need the Vulcan coming out, maybe we need a bunch of new ships for different stuff. That's where we see shelving, because those smaller ships are easy to make, and we already have tier 0 repair with 318. So something like the Vulcan coming in, and then drones, which also need to be made, is just the ideal thing where I say, okay, shelf the merchantman and give us a decent repair ship.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're just going in circles at this point, but
yeah, I think we need to move on.
Let's move on to the
next question.
Mooch55 says, I want to buy an 890, but it says it's sold out. Will it be sold again this week? I don't know. They usually
I think it's 3 waves per day and never comes back.
Yeah.
So I think you get 3 waves on the day it's available, and that's it.
I think I don't know. I think sometimes they resell them again at the very last day. Sometimes they do that. So,
yeah, but I wouldn't count on it.
I wouldn't count on it. So
you may want to buy it. Check Spectrum for the waves. And
yes, it's on Spectrum. Check it on Spectrum. And if you can't, if you didn't get it, then they'll sell it again during the Invictus sale. Like they'll those things. And sometimes they do them on.
Invictus doesn't sell the 890. Invictus doesn't sell the 890. And the 890 is only sold during IAE.
No, they do sometimes they sell them independently. They'll do some sales like that where they just kind of pull it out there. So
it really depends on what CIG does, but
yeah. But check Spectrum. If there's any limited volume ship that you're looking for, check Spectrum. They have a list of the waves when they're happening. So
stock limited ships. Yes, each stock limited ship is limited to 1 per account. Will be able to 3 waves to cover as many global time zones as possible. Wave 1 is 4 p.m. UTC. Wave 2 is 12 a.m. UTC. Wave 3 is 8 a.m. UTC. And that's it. So they'll have 3 chances when the ship comes up, when the manufacturer date comes up, you have 3 chances to buy that ship you want.
So I think the next
ship. And
so you still have a chance to buy the 890 at 8 a.m. to UTC. So what is it right there, Zarrk? What time is it right there?
Can I get a permit to link?
2 a.m.
2 a.m.
It's right now in Germany.
Like 6 hours, I think. Yeah, you're good.
Or like Lefty said, just go for the Origin Complete pack.
Mm-hmm.
You probably have to ask CIG if you can buy it, because it's one of the large ones. But yeah.
Yeah. So if you really want it, someone said like it's 3 a.m. Eastern, which is if you really want to buy it, you're in the United States.
That is so early or late, depending on which side you're waking.
That's in that weird zone where it's either too early or too late. All right. So the next question comes from Execute, and it's for HCVertigo, who asks, so where does HCVertigo get his bulk purchases of flannel from, and does he have a matching straw hat and pitchfork?
Oh, I live inside a Walmart.
He also asked for us to send the information, so could someone clip that and then send it to Execute because he's asleep?
There you go.
Next question comes from Gin and Tonic, who asks, do you think they should have moved the engines of the cutter up a little bit more and out a little to maximize the Razor Crest vibe? Nah, it's a Cutlass, or it's so this is gonna be lore shit. So feel free to turn your brain off if you're not in the lore. But
yeah, I heard this yesterday. I'm fine.
Yeah. The Vulture is actually was built off of an experimental Cutlass called the Vertical Landing Test, the VLT3. And after it was developed under the VLT3, the cutter they even say that they used the engines from the Vulture. So the cutter is literally an experimental Cutlass. That's all it is. It's just the lineage of an experimental Cutlass. So that's why it is.
Drake does only make one ship. It's the Cutlass.
It's the Cutlass.
Different, but
I make that joke. It's true. They make one ship. It's the Cutlass.
The cutter, the cutlass, and the corsair all have the same layout, just smaller or bigger and medium. Like they all have the rear ramp, then they have the like cargo area, then they have the habitation area, and then they have the cockpit. All three of them, like the exact same, just different sizes.
Don't even, and if you start thinking about it, the joke that Drake just makes the cutlass, think about it. Everything that Drake makes is a cutlass. It's just different versions of the cutlass. Some of them are fat, some of them are skinny, some of them are long, some of them are tiny, some of them are big. They're all the cutlass.
and because someone asked, so the Caterpillar, they had the cutlass, and they thought, okay, how can we transport stuff with the cutlass? We just clip a trailer on it. Yeah. So that's the Caterpillar.
Put it on the side. Stick it on the side.
A cutlass with a trailer on the side.
Yeah. All right. Next question comes from Aimless, who asks, there is no non-Warbond game package for the cutter. Sign of things to come, or just not going to be always going to be available? I don't think you can purchase game packages necessarily with credit, can you?
I can.
I think you can. I think you can. Yeah.
There's usually a store credit version for
just not Warbond. Warbond's the only one that specifically you have to pay real money for.
There's no credit version for the. I think the reason why there's no credit.
You can always purchase game packages that are year round with store credit. So you always have that option to like melt. If you don't like one starter package, you can melt it and then use the store credit to purchase another game package. It's just Warbond blocks that. The cutter may not have a store credit version.
Because,
so once you
because it's on sale.
Well, also a reminder: once you reach Concierge, you have a game package, just not Squadron 42.
Yeah. Once you reach a certain level of Concierge, you just have a game package, and eventually at a certain point, you get Squadron 42 as well on your account.
Chat saying the cutter has a credit version package for now. I didn't know that. So apparently there is a non-Warbond game package. So you
literally have to scroll over.
Okay.
It's
so the answer is
$45.
All right, so the answer is just scroll, Aimless. Scroll.
Yeah. And it's got 10-year insurance. So $45, 10-year insurance. Good
Sippost asks, which manufacturer should make the next starter ship? I'll start with you, Zarrk, on this one. What manufacturer do you think should make the next? Be quick about it.
Quick also. Okay, so
just a short answer. I don't need a dissertation as why.
So either beefed up Pisces from Anvil.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a great starter ship, so something more soloable. Or Argo.
Okay. Nick.
What was the question again?
Which manufacturer needs to build a starter ship?
Oh, Misk doesn't have a really good starter ship. Yeah,
because they just have the
on the low end.
Yeah,
they got the Reliance series, but that's like more premium.
The Reliance.
starter.
Oh yeah, they have the Reliance series. That's one.
That's higher end starter though. That's like the same. We're talking like 45.
It's also so weird. It has that whole mechanism. It's not just like a little solid tiny RV.
It's also a two-seater.
The Reliant is just strange.
It's just a strange ship. It's not a straightforward just starter. It's like I would like to see a straightforward tiny starter from Misk. That's what I would like to see.
Vertigo?
People have already spoiled it. I was going to say Kruger Intergalactic. They already have a ship. They just need to kind of scale that up with a quantum drive and boom, starter.
They have
$5.
two
starter fighter.
They
the
have
same
two
ship.
ships.
It's the
Archimedes
and the Merlin are the exact same ship. They're the exact same ship. I don't care what it says. You have a Merlin and a fancy Merlin. Give us a bigger Merlin with a quantum drive.
I'm going to say the controversial one and say Grey Cat. Grey Cat needs a starter miner. We need not a professional miner.
Tumbler.
The Tick is their starter miner.
Yeah, but it's not like a miner that has a quantum drive and a jump drive, and it doesn't have any or barely any storage or no storage. So it can
as Grey Cat
can't zoom it in.
Ship like outside of the Tick that's for Squadron 42. Have they done any other ships in lore?
Just vehicles. Just vehicles.
Just vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
So
that'd be perfect.
Okay, so we need a small Tick. That's it. That's the starter.
We need a mini Tick.
No, what we need. Here's the thing.
We need Titan suits.
We need a ship. We need a ship that has a laser and no tractor beam. It's just a miner. It just cracks rocks and then something else comes in and sucks it up. That's what I'm saying. Something like that. Starter. Argo would be another choice, but we already said Argo, so I was gonna go with that.
But just cracking things open could be a bit problematic gameplay wise.
Not necessarily,
because if you have a starter miner, you may not have any orcs to support you. You're just okay. I'm trying out. I usually like mining. I'm getting the tiny tick. Yeah, that's its name. And now you mine and you crack the rock. And how am I collecting it? I don't know, because I did not get told that my tiny tick does not have a tractor beam.
I guess it could be like a tiny one, or you have to like physically go out and collect it with tractor beams or something like that. Something that's a starter miner. We need
like a rock, but you actually have to go out and get anything by hand,
or just like a flyable rock. Something like that, or like
flyable rock would make so much sense.
The problem is I don't really see the necessity for any mining ship smaller than a prospector.
I do. Starters.
But the prospector is the mining starter,
but it's
if
expensive.
You go even smaller,
not in price.
Well, actually, technically, there is a cheaper in-game version of a mining ship you can purchase. That's awful. You could rent a prospector.
Oh God,
that you can't upgrade it. So basically, that would basically be your mining starter ship, is basically something that is so limiting and awful that you can only mine like really crappy rocks to start out.
So maybe the tiny
like a whole locked mining laser, size 1 mining laser you can't change out.
So if we go with the idea of an even smaller starter ship, then the tiny tick is probably a small ship that just collects the small precious stones, the diamonds.
Well, at that point, you're stepping on the Grey Cat Rock with a spaceship. Why would you carry a Grey Cat Rock at that point? Just get the spaceship that does it.
Yes, yeah, but that's the only idea where I see
the difference would be. The difference would be if you have something that's basically a rock that you can fly. Is the rock? It can hold a rock. Should I put this?
Okay,
a rock.
Paul?
Yes, my brain is frying.
I mean, a rock does not even have a lot of cargo capacity, which you could subtract. I mean, your rock only has not even 1 STU cargo capacity or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's enough for the stones it collects.
So if you subtract it for the mining starter...
just expensive. Yeah, you just... Well, because a rock is cheap compared to the mining starter. That's all you'd have to do. So if you wanted to do that with a rock, you don't have a ship, you can pay for a rock in game. But if you are starting out and you can fly around and collect it. So something that's a little bit bigger than a rock that holds stuff. It's like, why would you if you have a ship, why do you have a rock? Because I don't want to buy a ship. I'd rather have a rock because it doesn't consume fuel and I can go around and drive and pick it up. There we go. Perfect. Anyways, moving on. It's my idea, damn it. All right. So Gin and Tonic asks, the Cutter Starter Package is going to be priced after IAE to compete with the Avenger Titan and Nomad. No, it's not. The Avenger Titan is $70 and the Nomad is like $80 or $90. It's priced to compete with the 100i. Yeah, it's priced to compete with the 100i game.
And even then, like just $10 more gets you like a 10 times better ship with the Avenger Titan. So
yeah, the firepower on the Titan is just unbeatable, and the maneuverability of the Titan. It's really good for combat.
It's almost the same size as the Titan, and it has worse components and worse firepower.
I mean,
but it has a toilet.
There are 5 ships that are unbeatable. That's the Pisces, in their size category. It's the Pisces, the Titan.
Pisces is garbage for a starter ship, though.
The Pisces for a snub is unbeatable.
Snub's a totally different ball game. It's not a starter.
For one seater is
a lot of people like it.
Unbeatable. So I mean, it's not the best starter ship, but there's 5 ships in their respective category that are unbeatable, that are the best right now, and in the single seater place, it's the Titan.
Yeah, I mean the rest of the question was the rest of the question was how do you think it stacks up against the Avenger and the Nomad, which is what we basically we're saying. It doesn't stack up very well. I would say it's not a bad ship for what it does. And I do not think that it's the same version as a 100, because I think the 100 is about the same. So like if you would buy a 100, then buy a 100. It's at that point, it's like, I wouldn't suggest purchasing it for $60. I'd suggest purchasing an Aurora for $45 and just doing that. But I also see where it's going in the long run. Where like all of those things will be $60 because that's what the game package is going to cost. And so
if it stayed at the price it was now, I would have no problem recommending it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Whatsoever.
Exactly. If it was 45
if it
bucks.
stayed at this price, this sale price for the entire duration it was out, I would have no problem recommending it. So you would have a great alternative to the Mustang Delta and like the Aurora. You'd have a great alternative to that. And like it being 60, I can't justify it being that price. I mean, either get a Mustang or an Aurora or go with a Nomad or a Titan. Like
Mustang Beta. Mustang Beta is also just probably cheap. I'm pretty sure the Mustang Beta is cheaper.
Maybe, I don't think so.
Maybe go for one of the 100 series if you like. It's more sleek, but at this price point, it just doesn't carry its weight.
However, it's currently $45, and CIG is potentially priced it at $45 because they're trying to get new players to play the game. So if you're a new player and you're looking to buying the game, get the fucking the fucking
cutter.
Yeah, it's fucking
right
better
now.
Cutter's only good at $45.
Deal to get into the game now.
And you know what's really cool is if you wanted to play the CCU game, now you have a $60 ship that you can go across.
Yeah, I was about to say.
No.
Yeah. Is the cutter actually worth?
The ship is only 45. The cutter is only 45 worth.
Yeah, it's 45, but still, it's...
Yeah, so the clue is, if you want a cutter, get the Mustang game package, and then grade up $4-5 to the cutter. That's the way to go. You save $10 after the sale.
Is the Mustang Alpha still worth $5 more than the Mustang Alpha?
The Mustang Alpha, you mean they're from the Aurora? The Mustang Alpha is not worth more than $5 from the Mustang Alpha.
They've closed that loophole. That loophole's been closed for a little while. Yeah, Aurora MR and Mustang Alpha are both $30 now. They closed that loophole. So I mean, honestly, like you should get the cutter first because you have LTI and a starter package, and then you can upgrade it to something that's better, like whatever the hell you want.
And I think that's what people. And I think that's why everyone is gushing about it, because it's $45. It's an LTI package. It's a very good deal right now.
Yeah. The only problem I have is like I would consider it, but I have one of the nice juicy first wave game package where Squadron is included for like $20. So.
And
for people who are $10 to get a Titan right now with the cutter. So.
So for those who are wondering, it's like, where is it getting $60 from? If you look at the actual page, it'll say it's discounted to $60 from $60 to $45. Now, I also would like to scold CIG a little bit for this. You can't do that. That's against FCC rule, or not FCC. What is those rules? The federal. You can't.
FTC, Federal Trade Commission.
Yes, FTC.
So, Federal Trade
it's
Commission
against
something like that.
You already broke that law. You can't discount something that is already, even though it's the first time being sold. I get what you're saying is that it's going to go up $60, but the way you do that is technically a violation of FTC guidelines, because Bethesda got in the same problem. They had the same problem where they did that for a sale and they got in trouble for it. So
if no one reports it, it won't be a problem, right?
Yeah, it requires the
someone's
FCC
to
actually come down and enforce their regulations.
Right, yeah, it comes to someone actually notifying the FCC that this is happening.
And someone's going to do it because this is Star Citizen. Like, someone's going to do it, so
if anyone from Star Citizen is still, from CIG is still in chat, go to marketing,
fix it.
Change it.
Yeah, fix it.
I have a direct connection, but I'm not going to... I'm just going to say I hope they're here, but I'm not going to be that
Galaxica
guy.
was here earlier, so hopefully they heard that. If anyone is from CIG, talk to your fucking legal department, please. All right. But next question, which is Ionic saying, seeing as CIG is all about player choice, how many different starter ships should there be? Yes.
One for each manufacturer.
Yeah, I could agree with that. One for each manufacturer, yeah.
Yeah. At least, if not multiples for manufacturer with different roles. That's fine. I don't care. Like,
okay, so
if you paste another ship, I don't care. Like, take a ship a starter ship that already exists, like the Aurora, change its art style to like Origin or something, and just sell it again.
People buy it because it looks cool. It doesn't matter.
The thing is, I would say not every manufacturer should have a true starter ship. Like, I consider Anvil's startership the Pisces or the Arrow right now. And while they could use something like an Aurora, I am not sure if it
fits with their
would make
style.
a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So a beefed Pisces would be awesome, yes. But do we need it? And the same is for profession ships down the line, starter professions. Like, not everyone can do a starting mining ship. Not every manufacturer can do a mining ship for starter.
What's
doesn't make a lot of sense. But
what would be an Aegis starting ship?
Aegis, maybe a fighter.
Well, I know it's a Titan, but like, what would like a Aurora, a smaller Titan?
It's just like the cutter is a chibi cutlass. You just do a chibi.
You know what?
A chibi Titan.
Yes,
that's literally a penguin.
No. I have the starting ship for Aegis. It is a chibi Vulcan. It's a lot smaller. One person. You have
one drone.
You have not
even a drone.
You have some cargo capacity for fuel and repair. And you repair and refuel by hand. Yeah. That's the basic refueling and repair service. You just go and there's your canister of fuel. Go, be happy. I'm on my way.
What would an Argo starter ship be? It would be the MPU-V with a quantum drive. That's what a
Argo needs a quantum drive. It just needs a quantum drive, and it'd be good.
All right, next question comes from Meowcenary, who asks, when will you have Failure to report back on? Does Failure still make content for Star Citizen? I haven't heard from him in a long time, which is the reason why. And for those who don't know, I often have to reach out to people and ask them to come in. So, and every time someone like reaches out to me and asks, I do my best to try to get them on as well. So it's a really complicated process to get people onto the captain's table, because sometimes it's like feast or famine. Sometimes I don't have enough space for the amount of people who want to come on. And other times, just no one is interested. So it's like trying to break bones to get people to come on. Other than Vertigo. Vertigo will always come onto the captain's table because he likes to have a good time because he's Vertigo. Vertigo,
is it a good time, though?
Nick is not having a good time, man. He drank too much wine.
I'm having a great time. I'm having wine and talking. I just drink wine and note things, and it's fun.
So, just because Hurricane says it, in regards to carrying a gas can, we have manual repair, and there are law references to manual refueling. So you can pretty much assure that if you go on a long voyage, you will put on some STU containers of fuel, and you will refuel your ship by hand. So carrying gas still in the future it's a thing.
All right. Next question comes from Del Ener, who asks, rumor has it that QT ceiling at Crusader has changed from 150 kilometers to 90 kilometers. If true, this is a good change. Bad change, meh? Good change. The fuck that. Like, I don't know why people have this hard on. I don't know why people have this hard on for realism when it's fucking Star Citizen. Like, I do want to point this out.
Video game.
Not only is it a video game, but I like to point out this is a space dogfighter game. Why are you getting upset about realism in a game that its basic premise is unrealistic, which is space dogfighter?
War II in space. We should have the Expanse. Like, that's aliens. What should be if it was realistic.
There's the duel.
Yeah.
It already wasn't, and it wasn't even consistent with what was portrayed, because if you traveled into Orison, you jumped out at like 80 kilometers. If you left, you had to go double the distance. You have to go to 150. And sorry, no, I don't want to. I don't want to wait 10 minutes, 20 minutes just to go up there.
But yeah, that's effectively, it's a good thing. I don't think anyone is that was the biggest problem that people had with that place, is just like it was such a pain in the ass to jump out. So I do think it will change again though. Once they get a QT quantum boost, you'll just be able to quantum boost right there rather than having the quantum. I think that'll change some of those things as well.
Also, control server says when those comes in, change might speeds in atmosphere.
Yep. All right. Next question comes from Shimpasta, who asks, "Why does the cutter not have a warbond?" Okay, we already seen that. Oh, warbond CCU, but the corsair does, even though they're both new ships.
Probably because there's a starter package associated with the cutter.
Yeah.
And it's limited. It's, yeah. I mean,
I
could go look.
The clarification is the rumor is it was reduced in 318, not in 317.4. I don't know. I don't know. Is 318 in Evocati? I didn't think it was. So
I've seen rumors of 318 Evocati tests.
I've seen Evocatis pop up here and there, but nothing that's substantial to be like actually testing
login
it.
tests. Yeah,
I've seen something about salvage. Some.
Yeah, we all have. Like they showed it off on Inside Star Citizen.
Okay, so it is.
No. I mean Evocati leaks for salvage. I've seen.
Like so it's the idea is that it's because up to now the Evocati has just been like a login test. What they've been saying. So
yeah, and it's been,
the cutter not having a warbond upgrade could just be an oversight on CIG's part. I'm looking at the page right now. There's
just an oversight.
Okay. Yeah, it could be an oversight on their part, or they intentionally chose not to offer a warbond CC for the cutter.
All right. The next question comes from Deliner, who asks, "What ship is what Star Citizen ship is a magic carp?" Because we used our Pokemon references before. It's the Argo Cargo. The Argo Cargo is the magic carp because it is the king. It will transform into the great dragon that will destroy all of us. Yes.
But Argo needs to make a Gyarados for it to like evolve into, and right now we just
need a battleship, an Argo battleship.
I would say the Merlin or the Archimedes. It would be the magic carp. Like you underestimate it until it's too late.
No, because those can actually do an attack. Those can actually do an attack. Magic carp can't do an attack. All magic carps do is flail, flash, and freaking flail, and that's what the Argo Cargo does. It just flops cargo around.
What are you talking about? I saw someone take down a constellation with a Argo Cargo.
I've destroyed a Natris with one. Now, to be fair, I had help. But
I watched Firefly 2 and 2 slam into somebody trying to land. This was back in hover mode days. He slammed right into the side of a Connie. The guy panicked and he drifted right into the no-fly zone in Area 18 and
just hover mode. That was a good time.
I don't want to remember hover mode.
All right, let's move on. Phantom asks, why do people like asymmetrical designs? Because they're messy. I think that's the reason.
Because they're original. They look original. They look
unique.
Otherwise, you're gonna have all your ships are gonna be shaped like bullets, tubes, or arrowheads. Those are like the three iconic designs in sci-fi. Unless you go like to the TOS era, like Constitution class.
Yeah.
That thing looks like a mess, but that thing is so iconic.
Well, but here's the thing. Outside of Star Trek, what is the most iconic ship in sci-fi?
X-Wing.
I would argue from like one of the old
you want to say
Vipers,
Millennium Falcon?
It's the Millennium Falcon. Most people will showed a picture of the Millennium Falcon.
It's the Star Destroyer.
I think
if you took the X-Wing. X-Wing is everyone knows what the X-Wing is.
Everyone knows what the Millennium Falcon is.
But there are multiple X-Wing ships in different series, so I say it's the Star Destroyer because everyone can know this looming shadow that comes up.
Everyone knows a Millennium Falcon, though. Everyone does. That's the reason why they sell so many goddamn toys of the damn thing. And
Lego sets, with the Millennium Falcon.
And what is the aluminum Falcon? What is the Millennium Falcon? The Millennium Falcon is an asymmetrical ship.
Asymmetrical.
Yep, that's why. That's just the easiest answer. All right, next question comes from Avinator, who asks, panel preference on weapon loadout on the Corsair. I haven't tested enough to know. I think Nick is ballistics, right?
Yeah, I went full ballistic cannons.
Fixed or gimbaled?
Which brand they are? Fixed size 5, 6 size 4. And it's just destroying everything. Like hammerheads within 15 seconds, like super fast. It's just done. But like because it's fixed, you just gotta get your strafe run in, and then dip because the handling of that is just trash.
Zarrk,
I wanna I have yet to upgrade, but I plan to do a full laser repeater loadout.
Okay.
With the Rhinos and the not the Rhinos, with the 557s and 554 and 447.
So gimbal, is what you're saying?
No, full fixed.
Okay. Vertigo?
Full fixed.
I've tried a few builds. I did an arena commander run through Pirate Swarm with nothing but ballistics. It tears up. It tears. Problem is you run out of ammo pretty quickly. You get 4 targets down, and then you're begging for ammo drops at that point. I feel like the gimbaled laser repeaters are probably your best bet if you're going to go laser. You could probably like don't mix velocities on the damn thing. Try to make sure it's all unified because that thing cannot turn, and you cannot. I'm deadly serious. You cannot rely on the stupid mixed velocity algorithm that CIG runs with the aiming pip, the projected impact point. You can't rely on that because the weapons, the spread on the weapons is massive. If something gets in your face, you're basically. You don't have to rely on that. Yeah. So if everything's the same velocity, you can get some hits. Basically, you have this gigantic thing of bullets just coming out of your front end. You get hits. I'm
going to say go different and say neutrons. Nothing but neutrons, because or what are they?
Is there size 5 neutrons?
Nope.
No, there's not.
That's my knowledge.
I think there's size 4s though.
No, there's distortion scatter guns you can run on that. You definitely run distortion scatter guns on the wings if you wanted to.
I would say distortions as much as possible because that's like with that thing full distortion, you will knock out a ship in like one blast. Like it's just nothing will survive that hit. And if you're actually going to pirate in the future, you're going to want to disable ships, not destroy them, especially with 318. And they've changed the rules to 318 as well. For the soft death, where it's no longer a soft death. If you keep shooting at a ship, it'll explode. So
would disabling, that's a question for CIG mostly, but would disabling through distortion lead to a soft death immediately and faster?
No.
But what you what you could do in theory, once the components are there, you go full distortion loadout on the pilot, and you equip some nice punchy ballistic weapons on the turrets. So you knock it out, turn the ship, and get with the turrets in the engines, so it can't flee.
But I think if you use distortion weapons, I don't think you can destroy a ship with distortion weapons. So if you're worried about this, because a soft death currently happens, and then you can have an explosion if you keep shooting it. So if you're looking to disable a ship and board it or take its stuff, then you want to have distortions so you can keep it knocked out rather than letting it so you don't.
It keeps the hull at max HP versus bringing it to 0. But you have to keep on top of it to keep it disabled.
Yeah. So that'd be a little better. So all right. Shimpasa asks, is the 600i after the rework a Carrack killer?
It could kill Carrack before the rework.
I think it could definitely siphon some Carrack fans away because it's effectively the same package in a smaller, but you have piloted guns. Like you have 3 size 5s in damn thing. That's what you can control yourself, which is pretty impressive.
I would say it's not a Carrack killer because you can't respawn at it. There's no medical bay, no medical facilities on it.
The new one there is.
I'm not sure it's the medical bay in the tourist version or in the exploration version.
In the exploration version.
Okay. Oh yeah, so, in the 600i rework, yeah.
I say yes and no. It really depends on what you want to do. The big positive things about the new 600 version is you can fit a Nova, you can fit a Spartan. Things I would wish I could fit in the rover garage of my Carrack, but I can't.
Well, eventually you'll be able to use those drop pods and the cargo pods to be able to do those things. But...
So the next part is you have luxurious crew. You don't need a lot of people. You have luxurious cabins. Ship is rather maneuverable compared to the Carrack. Not as fast, but slightly more maneuverable. The thing I say it lacks is the overall cargo capacity. So if you're only hopping around 2-3 systems and you have a reliable resupply point, the 600 might be superior. Simply because it's smaller, it's more maneuverable. You probably don't have as much costs than with the Carrack, but if you go into deep space, if you really want to explore, then you have the Carrack. Not only have you much more space for supplies, you also have your drones. The drones can probably be a complete game changer because when you go with the 600 and you land somewhere, you need to drive with the Carrack, you can use the Pisces, you can use the drones, you can use the rover. And that's not even mentioning something you have in your cargo pods. So I say, for anyone who just wants a self-sufficient ship, go for the 600. Everyone who wants to go deep space, everyone who wants to go deep space, go with 40 Carrack.
I think the question is more, will people drop the Carrack when the 600i gets its rework? And I think yes.
No.
I do.
There's always the Carrack Karens.
Yeah, but I mean, I do think a lot of people
prefer
in the short term. In the short term,
people
drop over the long term.
People drop the merchant for the
the privateer.
No. The bad ship from Ages. I always forget the name because
the dumpster fire. The
dumpster fire.
Yeah,
the Ages dumpster. Yeah. I mean, they dropped the merchantman for the Redeemer, and if people drop the merchantman for the Redeemer, then people will definitely drop the Carrack for the 600.
Mm-hmm. All right, next question comes from Kavion, who asks, any thoughts on the Origin X1 being a hologram? Is there some new tech needed for that vehicle? What would have thought had been released with the 400i? I have. It's just
super low priority. All it needs is one artist, dev, whatever, and they just haven't put it on the schedule. I don't know why. I give up at that.
Yeah, I'm with you, Nick.
So,
just put somebody on it and get it done. But
so I have heard some things about the Ranger being spotted in some pictures.
Okay.
So there was always the talk about they need some new tech for two-wheeled vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
So for the bikes, I'm not sure if they solved the problem, but I could see that they pushed out the Rangers for IAE, and we might see them during Tumbril.
I don't think we'll see Rangers this year. But
there's been zero indication on that.
They would literally show us them working on Inside Star Citizen if they were going to release them this year or next within the 12 months.
Not if it's a surprise.
They don't They don't hold back anymore.
Not with ships that are already announced. A secret ship, yes. But I do think you're on a path where I think that we will see the Ranger when we see the X1 when we see the Ranger. I think they'll both come out at the same time because I think those are both ships that are like both vehicles that are like like they're low priority, so but they're so small, like 3 people will get them done in like 2 months. So that once they have priority, so they can take
your Ranger can be done.
I could see them getting them between 319 between 4.0 because that I feel like that's going to be like a lull between developers and artist times where they're going to be looking for just fit. They're just looking. They're looking for the slots that open up where it's like, where's a gap where we can just put people in on this? And I feel like that will be a great fit between 319 and 4.0. I think that would be a good one.
All right. Next question comes from Shimpasta, who asks, do you think CIG will have persistent habs after PES or just persistent hangars? They won't have persistent habs until they can have full PES. Remember, PES, what we're getting in 318 is not persistence. It's just what we have in 317 plus. Nothing really beyond.
No, it's persistent entity streaming, right?
Yes.
So it's going to be basically a better database.
Yes.
They're not really adding. Yeah. They're not adding streaming until like 4.0, which supposedly was supposed to come at the end of this year.
Not happening. Obviously.
So
definitely not happening.
So the thing is, with persistence, I assume that we will enter the territory of you will log in where you logged out.
Yes, but not with 318.
That's pretty much where it's going. And anything with persistent hangers and stuff, 4.0 and later.
As Chad is correcting you, Darj. If Darj is correcting you, HCVertigo, that it's the entity.
It's database tech. I don't care what anyone tells me. Like, people could try to sit down and explain it to me. Like, as a layman, like, persistent entity streaming, from my understanding, sits between the game layer and the database, and it allows the game to draw stuff out of the database more efficiently.
Yeah,
I understand it fully because I still have this hand-drawn thing from Benoit from we had a talk at a Montreal Bar Citizen.
Yeah.
So this was from Benoit directly. So me and him had a good long talk about PES and server meshing, and that's it. Right there.
But so I think the answer is, if the question is, will we see actual persistent HABs? Yes. Eventually, we will see persistent HABs. That is something that they've talked about. Chris has talked about, because this is a Chris Roberts game. So Chris Roberts wants you to have not only for you to buy an apartment in game, but have to pay rent for that apartment in game, have it be a unique apartment that only you see, so that if there is an entire planet that's filled with 400 HABs that you want to go buy an apartment in that HAB, you won't, because it'll already be sold out, because he wants to have a freaking real estate market in the game too. So, for those of you who
not have that tied with real currency whatsoever, please. I do not want. No.
We just have to look at how far they come along with the raster.
Yeah.
Restech.
Rastar.
Yeah.
I could. Yeah. I mean, if there really is the mobile construction vehicle from Argo coming, I could see that 4.0 will not or 4.x will not just bring persistent HABs, but also the ability to build a persistent base.
Yeah, of course. That's eventually going to happen. But I think the question is more, will we be able to have HABs that are consistent? And the answer is we used to. Vertigo can attest to that. That you're like, when you log out of a HAB in a place, you log back in, you'd be in the same HAB. And we know this because every time Vertigo would log into the HAB, it would go beep 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 beep, because he would steal black boxes from Rex and then keep them in his HAB.
I haven't seen those black box missions in forever. I guess they think about the game. But yeah, those were great days. The tortoises and the meth.
I miss the tortoises. They were back for a little bit, but I don't know where they went to.
I guess they took them out because they were too much on the servers. Yeah, too many 30Ks.
That's something I'm very interested in with all the fauna coming along. Pets, the pet system.
Yeah. All right. Next question comes from Steve B. Dancer, who asks, "How will each of your gameplay change from the addition of soft death coming in 3.18?" I'm interested to hear Vertigo, because Vertigo and Nick probably play this game more often than me. Zarrk probably does as well. But I know Vertigo plays a lot more than I do, and I've seen Nick on every single other streamer's channel, so I know he plays the game a lot too. Vertigo.
I'm the background character of Twitch, Star Citizen.
Vertigo. How do you think soft death is going to affect your gameplay?
I'm definitely going to be like quitting to menu a lot more often.
Okay.
Because you're basically going to get stranded when you get into combat and you get knocked out. It's just going to be, your ship's just going to power down and you're just going to be stuck. So you're either going to have to call for like a pickup, or even if you negotiate with the pirates, do you think the pirates are going to give you a ride back? Most people are just going to get out of the pilot seat and Alt F4, and then just log back in, just to fast travel back to the station, just get another ship.
You forget the most obvious thing. You wait for the pirate to come on board to get your cargo, and you shoot him and take his ship.
You forget the most obvious thing CIG could do. What if they disable backspacing?
What if they? How the fuck are they gonna stop me from pulling the network cable out of my socket?
Yeah.
So that's a good point. Yeah. Like they can't stop power shutdown, but they could disable backspacing.
They will eventually give you a reason not to use the backspace, and I try to play the game that way, right? Yeah. I try to play the game where I don't use suicide to fast travel across the system unless I'm really pissed off that day at Star Citizen.
Yeah, because I think eventually CIG is going to remove the backspace when the game.
But we're not talking about the future. We're talking about the next patch.
So,
right.
Yeah,
but again, so I say,
Zarrk, what do you think?
If you suffer soft death, the most obvious thing for me is, if I suffer soft death, someone wants to steal my cargo. Okay, might be a bit tricky with the Carrack. It's not the most open cargo hold, but
yeah, how are you gonna get the cargo out of the Carrack unless CIG is gonna add the ability to drop the boxes out?
Yeah. Oh, you can use your tractor beam to pull it out.
So no, you can't. You can't open the cargo base in the Carrack.
No, but you can go. You can walk through the
the doors don't go open wide enough, to my knowledge.
The back doors do. The back hangar does.
On the Carrack?
On the Carrack.
You can't get cargo from the Carrack
to the back doors. No, the back doors are even smaller to get up to the top.
No.
And into the hangar.
But the thing is, if someone wants my cargo, he has to come on board, and if they come on board, I can shoot them, take their ship, and I'm happy again. So
Nick, how's that going to change your
that's
your
the
gameplay?
thing I see. Probably not much, though. I might actually go for doing some rescue missions. Like if someone got stranded, maybe picking them up.
Okay. Nick?
Doing something for the karma.
So I believe CIG confirmed on Spectrum that after soft death, you can still make it a hard death by continuing to do damage on it. So it's really up to what the person attacking you is going to decide to do. And I think as soon as it's a soft death, it's going to be very dependent on a whole situation is going to open up where it's just like, what does each side do? And I love that dynamic of like, are you actually trying to pirate them? Are you just trying to kill them? Are you just trying to take their bounty? Because right now bounties are only, kill the target. Mm-hmm. So a bounty hunter or a pirate will just be blowing it up anyway. Afterwards, after the soft death, they're not going to be caring about the cargo. It's only going to be people who are wanting to PvP and actually pirate cargo who are actually going to be caring about the soft death. And as long as VoIP's working and people are actually interacting with each other, I think it will lead to very interesting and dynamic interactions amongst players. But I don't really see that happening too frequently at all. I think it will lead to a lot of people.
Assuming NPCs even have soft death, but I'm assuming PvP is going to be a nightmare because you're going to go after somebody, you're going to shoot at them, you're going to trigger soft death, and then you're going to have to pry them out of the gladios or something to finish
NPCs,
the bounty.
They've confirmed with NPCs that NPCs when they reach soft death, the mission will be completed. So, like they automatically die. All the NPCs die at soft death. So,
yeah.
But the PvP is the very interesting part of soft death because it's just like it opens a whole can of worms on the player interaction side of what is each side going to do. Is the one side just going to like submit to everything they say just so they can try and get away or try and call for a rescue or just backspace or Alt F4 or power down their system or unplug their Ethernet? Like there's a whole string of systems that it's just like, what do we do now? And it's just like, we need to see how the players actually interact with each other and what they do and what they want to do.
Do we really need to see players to interact with each other? We have like DayZ, we have World of Warcraft, we have all these other games made throughout the ages. And players will always do bullshit stuff to each other constantly. PvP is constant antagonism between the player base.
And CIG wants that.
Yeah.
CIG wants to encourage that.
It's good. Yeah. I don't think it's wrong to have like antagonistic relationships amongst players, but I think one thing that the community really like forgets is to be respectful to other players while being antagonistic towards them. And I think that's one thing that's just like, it's just like, hey, I'm stealing, like no player is gonna be like, hey, I'm stealing you, and then you just get into this whole like
argument,
argument, like ranting, like borderline harassing each other and swearing at each other, when it's just like we're just both just trying to play the game and make fun out of the situation. And it's just like one side is getting screwed and they feel like they're getting screwed, so they're getting angry at the other side, and the other side is like, well, they're getting angry at us, so we're gonna get angry at them. And it's just like,
yeah, but I think
I'm gonna go role play in a safe server now. Bye.
Well, yeah, I think I think CIG. I mean, personally, I think soft death is a weird half step that I don't prefer. But I think what CIG is, I think in general, we're not going to see a lot of that. I think that's an extreme, and there will be extremes. Not saying there won't be, but I don't think the average person who's PvPing is looking to shoot to like say a bunch of slurs at you while you're like nearby. I think most of them just want to kill you. Like that's what they want to do. They just want to kill you.
But it's also another thing is CIG going to credit them for a kill when they disable them, or is it when it's finally a kill? You
have to kill. They
have to come on board and you can kill them. Which
CIG CIG also confirmed there's a second pool of health after the soft death that you can still blow up and destroy the ship afterwards. So it'll just be like you keep shooting it and it'll blow up.
Why the fuck would I not stop shooting at it? Why would I? Why? Okay, if I have the option to, I don't know if we should even talk about this, Paul. Do you want to go into the weeds here?
I'm not going to go into the weeds, but I'm just going to say I get what you're saying because that's already the option for the soft death. Is if I'm going to kill a player, then I'm just going to keep shooting the fucking ship until they're dead.
I mean, if I'm trying to pirate somebody, I'll just keep shooting until the ship blows up and drops the cargo, and then just scoop.
Well, there's a reason. There's a reason for that.
But you get a lot less cargo if the ship explodes.
I don't give a shit. I have a Cutlass Black. I'm not going to hold the entire contents.
So who's doing cargo right now? How valuable is cargo right now?
That's another thing. That's why I think this whole thing is like soft death and all this shit is like it's pointless because CIG isn't going to change anything. So.
I see other players so rarely. I don't think really it matters.
Yeah, I feel like
they should have just waited until physicalized damage came in and just been left alone. I don't think it needed this weird middle ground.
I think it's not wrong because it sets expectation what's to come. Because if we take a look at how many people still think fighters are a great investment and fighters are great, and fighters will be OP. And you just have to remind them that in Pyro you won't be able to do anything with your sweet gladiators.
Yeah. All right. So I'm kind of going through some of these questions to try to refresh it. I'm going to be right back, but I'm going to ask this question, and y'all feel free to. And I'll start with Nick on this one. With 70% of ships being disabled rather than destroyed, why the hell do they call it soft death, meaning instead of disabled? That one is an easy answer because you're not actually disabled, you're dead. Like you can't like a disabled ship you can restart and fix. With this, you're dead. You cannot move your ship anymore. Your ship is effectively dead.
You're gonna have to claim insurance on this ship. You can't
take bullets went through the engine. Your engine can't start totaled. Even if you have power.
It's total. Yeah, it's a write-off effectively. We're going to need ships towed and repair facility. No, because you won't have that in 318. What do you think
later down the line?
What do you think of the probability of getting the SRV in 318? No, they've already said no. So the answer is no. So I had to get the question. But things are going to be.
Go to the roadmap. It's on the roadmap.
Yeah.
The state of the SRV is that the exterior is pretty much done, as is the piloting cabin.
Yeah.
But the engine and the living area are only gray box, so it still takes time.
We would have seen something on the SRV on the inside Star Citizen if it was close to getting done.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, they don't hold back for inside Star Citizen anymore.
Yeah, and I think anytime someone's like, oh, but what if they secretly? No, stop you right now. No, they don't do that. They don't do that.
There would have been a huge announcement. We would have seen more. We would have seen tractor beam tech. Like the tractor beam is like the whole thing for the SRV. We would have seen tractor beam demonstrations out the butthole from inside Star Citizen.
Yeah,
and we would have seen the ship.
We would have seen it in monthly reports and all this sort of stuff.
They would have just put the tractor beam on the Caterpillar and stuff like this.
Yeah,
just for a test run. Yeah. Test run is tractor beam testing. Their Caterpillar has it. Have fun.
Yeah. We have seen zero testing or hinting between vehicle tractor beams currently, and so it's not
Nick
soon.
Says.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll be right back though. Steve D. Dancer asks, and I'll start with you, Nick, then Zarrk, then Vertigo. Should you be able to self-destruct in a soft death mode, and why? I'll be right back. Nick, you start.
I think no, because your ship's fully disabled at that point. The self-destruct button wouldn't work, like theoretically. So I personally feel that if a soft death happens, you shouldn't be able to just backspace and explode your ship more because your ship's fully destroyed. It's it's fully functionally disabled. You can't restart it. Like if you can't restart, if you can't get power, you shouldn't be able to trigger your explosive detonations in it. So at that point, it's just like you have to use the beacon system or phone a friend or force respawn to get out. And I don't think we should be able to self-destruct after a soft death because your ship's destroyed. It's already been destroyed. You somehow survived. You and your cargo somehow survived, but you shouldn't be able to self-destruct with it. All right. So since AstroPub isn't here, Zarrk, you're next.
Yeah. So I say for the soft death for 318, yes, like you said, no self-destruction. Simply because you're done. Later on, if we have the physicalized soft death where you just shot and you're in the dark, if your reactor hasn't been shot, but only your engines or something like that, maybe you can rig it up to explode. But for 318, no self-destruct.
Vertigo?
I think CIG needs to start thinking about removing self-destruct, period. Like, why should a Caterpillar captain be allowed to destroy their ship if they're disabled by a pirate? That if Chris Roberts wants piracy to be a certain way, the fact that a Caterpillar captain can, out of spite, preemptively destroy their ship and potentially destroy a whole bunch of cargo to stop piracy. Like, people just do that. They'll just do it out of spite. As soon as they get pirated, as soon as they get pulled out by a mantis, before you even get the shields down, they'll just alt F, they'll just backspace.
What does that Caterpillar pilot have to lose if they've already achieved soft death, if they just self-destruct? They've already lost the fight. They have nothing to lose.
Even before the first shot is fired, some people will simply do that. They'll just hold backspace and blow up, and they'll just respawn.
And here's the other thing. The reality is, I'm going to tell you the very basic reality. How soft death works is your ship is done. It's kaput. It is a wreck. In terms of the gameplay, it is a wreck. That is what it's treated as. It's treated as any other kind of salvageable wreck at that point, which means that you can't self-destruct because it's already dead.
Yeah.
That was my point.
Yeah.
Self-destruct needs to be tied to an actual component, your power plant, and there should be like something more that goes into it besides just holding backspace. You have a component on your ship that's tied to self-destruct, and that could be disabled.
Overdrive it, or something like that.
That's why I said once we have the physicalized damage, even if you're soft death, if, for example, your power plant is you can kind of overload it.
What if they tied in self-destruct to overloading the power plant into self-destruction? So you actually have to leave your seat. So you have to go to your power plant and overload it, and then like let it time down and explode. And that way you actually have to interact with your ship, run around your ship. If you have a larger ship, it would take obviously a lot longer unless you had an engineer there who was also on board with self-destructing the ship.
Yeah, there needs to be some sort of procedure to do it, where like you need to have a process that you can do it, but it's not something that they teach you, because I don't know about you, but I've not been to many first aid facilities that teach me how to dismember an arm in case of in case of an emergency. I don't think a future spaceship is going to have, or how to explode my car. Yeah, I don't know that off the top of my head.
Not sure about you, but my driver license didn't have classes on exploding my car. So.
Exactly. So like, I don't think there would be a way that they say, hey, this is exactly how you blow up your ship, and more of a you have to learn how to get your ship to reach critical mass and blow itself up. So it's more of a skill base rather than a default press a button and I explode kind of thing. All right. I'm going to skip that one. Sorry, Alexander. We're kind of coming to the end. We've got over an hour, and I've got food that's almost done. I'm hungry. All right, we've got 5 questions left. Steve Beat Answer asks, who's looking forward to all the racetracks coming in 318? I'm not a racer, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's content for us content creators.
Yeah, even if I just go there just to look around and watch other people race around, I'll enjoy it. I mean, I love new locations to check out. I mean, it's the one thing that's constantly churning out content in Star Citizen is the location team, and I want to see it.
I'll be honest, I haven't been racing in a while, and those racetracks I'm hesitant to buy back my 350.
But
just race on those tracks.
I'm looking forward to getting a beer and watching the races happen. That's what I'm looking forward to. Watching it from like a veranda in 890 or
we need our beer ship. We need our little Sally ship. That would be a great starting ship.
He's put beers in the back, cases of beers in the back of the cutter. That's your beer ship. Like, it's perfect for it. Landing on top landing on top of the Corsair and drink beers on top of the Corsair while you watch the races happen.
No. The ship you drive, it would probably look slightly like the cutter you drive, but then it folds up, and then you have your whole bar area.
There we go. I know, but
folds out.
So a food truck that you can stock up your own food and beers and stuff and just make your own.
Yeah, but not the American version, the Bavarian one. we have the better versions for beer.
Oh,
I'm Canadian, not American, so when it comes to beer, I think we're pretty on top.
Nah, forget it.
Next question comes from Outlaw Night Zero, who asks, "What improvements would you like to see in future IAEs?" I can start if y'all need some time, because I know I have been saying this forever.
Go.
Which is
you always last. Now go first.
I've been to many conventions in my time, and I know Nick, you've probably been to a couple of conventions. Vertigo, have you been to a couple of conventions? Zarrk, I don't know if you've been to conventions, but like a gaming convention or something like that. No convention is about one thing. Even car shows are not about one thing. They have like parts manufacturers there. They have other tangentially related things. If it isn't part of the culture of that, whatever that convention is, it's going to be present in some way, shape, or form. So in the future, go ahead.
I've been to a Comic-Con, and it's just like, if you go to a Comic-Con, it's just like, it's not just about comic books. It's about video games. It's about cosplay. It's about artists doing their own thing. And it's just like, it's about so many different people. It's about voice actors. It's about appreciating so many different artists in so many different talents and fields. And that's what it's about. And it's just like, yeah, this is, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's what we should see in the IAE is more stuff that is not to do specifically with ships, but with parts manufacturers, with other tangentially things. So, and of course, I'd also be a big fan of having booths, so you could go up to people and talk with them and have a little small interaction. That's a lot of work, but I also know that once you get that done, it's fucking done, and you can reuse it for any other convention you want to do for it. You don't really have to change it. So
the thing is, to be fair, we already have components and weapons in the IAE. The problem is they don't have any prominence. They are just there. Most people ignore them. I'm pretty sure even you with your lore tools, Paul, you ignore them pretty much, because what's the lore behind those components?
Yeah.
So probably there has to be some. So I say, if we bring up the IAE to the next level, then first the convention center has to change slightly, so we have more of a boothy feel. Still the ships, but then lots of small booths around them where you can talk about the ships, you can talk about the company, you can talk about components the company usually uses. So not just throw in a bunch of components, but throw in the components the company usually uses. Throw in the weapons the company usually uses.
Bearing should have a booth for sure. Yeah.
So Origin, for example, I think uses primarily the M laser series, the M5A.
I think it's bearings too. I think those are two.
Those are bearings. Bearing, yeah. So there you have some interaction, and as you said, booths. And I mean, we already have our coffee vendors, so booths should not be a problem.
It requires some. Then it requires some rigging and some other things like that. It's not easy, but it's possible. They have the technology. So.
And then we need some sort of party area. Let's be honest. We're talking here people that can spend big money. We want some party area. Somewhere where we can just disc floor of new beverage, put it in the convention center, be done. And let's be honest, we all want to see Jax McCleary somewhere in there. Yeah. Maybe talk to him. And the last thing I would add is, I think I said it when the Fleet Week was around, some sort of IAE specific missions that are not just collect X, but do something. Now they mention in the lore that ships get stolen when they are transferred to Earth for the IAE. So maybe we have ship transports, and if you're an illegal player, an unlawful player, you can try to capture the ships, steal the ships. If you're a lawful player, you can try to reclaim the ships. This alone would make the mission, would make the event not just I go in, I take a look at the hall, and 20 minutes later I'm done. IAE for the day is done. No, I can save an Origin 890 jump that got hijacked, and then fly it down to the convention center. Hey,
Yeah, stuff like that would be nice. Just things to do that involve the Invention Center.
Yeah, more stuff.
Ships. Yeah,
more stuff to do. Can we get on to the next question now?
Okay. I didn't know if any of y'all wanted to talk about it.
No, after Zarrk's manifesto, I'm kind of done with that question.
Okay.
Yeah, same. I'm done.
All right.
Oh,
The next.
Sipposit asks, speaking of your mom, will we be able to name all of our ships in the future? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Dibs on your mama.
you could have her. Everyone else has. You got to be quick though to get your mama.
the reason why we haven't is because the system they developed was broken. It just fucking doesn't work. So they want to go back and fix it, but it hasn't been a
priority. It's not a high priority.
Shimpasta asks, will users be able to sell alien ships like the Void or Kingship? Or buy ships either in or out of game? You will never be able to buy it out of game or in game. Those Vanduul ships will only be capturable.
Well, you'll be able to buy them from other people if they capture and repair them. You should be able to transfer them.
But probably not from
licenses.
But not from NPCs. You probably won't
not
be
from
able
NPCs.
to buy them from NPCs.
I mean, unless CIG from Asperia, you could buy the blade and the glaive, right?
If Asperia made versions of it.
If CIG changes their mind on the scythe later on the Stinger.
I could see if you farm enough reputation with the Banu, you might be able to buy a larger, maybe Connie, maybe Carrick sized Vanduul ship from through the Banu. Might be that you have to pay something very exotic, so it's not just say I throw 50 million USC at you, but you have to do something specific, and you have to find the right Banu that actually trade with the Vanduul.
Yeah, but I mean that's something CIG hasn't said yet. So as of right now, I would say no.
But yeah, that's the only way I say there you can buy it.
All right, this is the last one, and it's for me, but I think it's for everyone. Which is, is there any chance of making smaller ships for the trading gameplay loop that might speed the Banu merchantman development, even if you put it on hold at first by getting some of its needed mechanics in game?
The problem with
I personally feel the current trading mechanic works already with it.
Yeah.
It does what's wrong? Like we already have A2s in it. We already have the C2s. What would adding the Banu merchantman to the current trading economy change? It would change nothing. It would change nothing. Just make it and bring it out.
So what I think they are talking about is the trading mechanic between players. So the bazaar feature of the merchantman.
Yeah, but I mean, even though that's a feature, you don't need it.
The problem with the merchantman is not gameplay or technology. That's not the problem with the merchantman. So even though I would support having your Big Benny's starship where you can fly around, deliver Big Benny.
I want my Fifth Element junker ship. All right, I want that my Fifth Element cruise ship.
The thing is, it wouldn't help because the problem with the merchantman is an artistic one. They have to find out how the fuck they are doing the interior.
That's it. So the answer is, I don't think it'll speed it up, but the actual answer is, I would love to see smaller ships that do the trade thing, the Banu
ships or something.
Thing. Maybe.
So it's specifically about the shops, not about the current cargo trading.
Yes, I think that's what they're referencing.
Okay. The shops and the bazaar area, not the cargo area.
I think that's what they're trying to say.
So I was a bit confused there, but either way, just make the damn thing.
Yeah.
It's just an empty space that you can put stuff in.
Yeah.
Just give us the empty space.
But I mean, still at the same time, I'd love to see more like that stuff, but in smaller versions. Give me the taco truck. I will. People will fucking use a taco truck to sell random junk that they have.
That the taco truck could also be used for the gameplay around catering to your customers, which you need for tourist gameplay.
Yeah.
Once you have people on your 600R, you need to mix them drinks, make them tacos. So why not make a taco truck where you can implement this is how you make a taco, because you only have to make tacos, one food, not 10 foods.
Well, that's about it. All right, that's it for the questions. Thank you to Nick and Zarrk and Vertigo for coming and joining us. If you enjoyed this and you're watching this after the fact, make sure you are joining Hey It's Nick, twitch.tv/HeyItsNick, twitch.tv/HCVertigo, or both of their YouTubes, which is HCVertigo and Hey It's Nick on YouTube as well. And join us live on Saturdays, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. I would say people are asking, well, why did you say Zarrk? Because Zarrk doesn't have any content. You want to talk to Zarrk? Go hang it on Discord. My Discord. That's where he is.
Or just go to literally any Star Citizen stream and I'll be there.
Yeah. But if you did enjoy this, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you were watching this on YouTube, because it's important. If you're watching this live on Twitch, hit that follow button. I am on my way to, what is it I'm at right now? I'm at 15.8K. I want to get 16K before the end of the year. So hopefully if you enjoy this, we'll do this frequently on
I just
Saturdays.
want to get another YouTube video out before the end of the year.
That's a hard sell there, Vertigo, since you've done like 4 this entire year.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you're watching this after the fact, I want to hear your thoughts on any of these questions down below in the comments section. And as always, hope to see you someday in the black.